Welcome to In Focus here on News Channel 15. Mike Harris with the Market Street MTC Group, and Merchants Park at Harris Insurance Pavilion is back. The summer concert series has been going on all summer long, kind of building as it goes in terms of the folks coming out to attend, and another big show is coming up this Friday night.
Another big one Friday night, and like you said, it's kind of been slowly building over the summer. About 350 people there a couple of weeks ago, about that, the concert before that. And so this is the last one that we'll be involved with this year. And so we're doing some planning for next year, but I want to really talk about this one and talk it up a little bit today. So
yeah, obviously so, the last one of a long summer series worth of concerts that have really kind of put Merchants Park on the map. We're starting to get some folks interested about, hey, what do you have to do to play here, and that kind of thing. So you'll love to see that word of mouth traveling from what has been experienced so far.
It's been interesting. A couple of the bands are, well, actually three of them are wanting to come back next year. I don't know that we're going to be able to have all three of them back.
Right.
Just with timing and everything else that we're looking at, cost-wise, we have kind of decided that we're going to go a little bit different direction next year, maybe do some local bands. Got some interesting things that we can kind of bring up. I don't want to give out too much information because we don't have everything ironclad, but try to bring in more local bands that aren't as costly for the sponsors that are sponsoring them, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, it should be fun to see what next year holds, but let's talk about the last act of this summer concert series, closing out with another big show.
Russ Still and the Moonshiners. We've kind of put this out on Facebook and different things, but they were the 2015 Georgia Music Awards Country Band of the Year, which was a big deal in the state of Georgia. First time that they have actually made their way into the Midwest will be this Friday night. Pretty well have stayed around Georgia, Alabama, Texas, a little bit in Florida, going into some Tennessee sites. So first time that they've ever been to Illinois.
There you go.
And so it could be pretty interesting. We talked to Russ this morning, and he is totally enthused about coming, and seems to be a really nice guy to talk to, and I'm excited to see them play. They're bringing a four-piece band. Actually, is what he's coming with. Russ plays the keyboards. There will be a drummer. There's a bass guitar player. I'm not sure about the other part of that, the fourth one. But today, this afternoon, I found out, he said a little bit of a piece of fun information for you is that we are going to have a Mount Carmel High School graduate that is going to play with them Friday night, plays the saxophone, and his last name's Hilliard, Andrew Hilliard, and so I'm not sure where he lives now, but apparently he's coming into town and he's going to play a couple of songs with them. So we've got a little bit of a hometown tie there for at least part of the concert.
Should be a fun night. Again, the local connection, plus again, you look back at this series and you're talking about recognized bands in their states and their home states, and even nationally with the folks from Broken Roots who have been here, that have graced the stage of America's Got Talent. We've found some pretty top quality artists to come to Mount Carmel, Illinois, and Russ Still and the Moonshiners, yet another one on that list.
It's another one, and again, I'm excited. I've been excited all year. It just hasn't built to the climax that we were hoping we would get to, but now we're starting to get there now that the season's over, and then we'll probably have to start all over again next year, but we're becoming better known.
Yep.
With the outdoor venue and the stage and the park and everything that's there. It's a great venue for these guys to play at.
Sure.
And we have been contacted by some groups that do want to play here. Again, trying to work them in and trying to decide, is that the best group for us to bring in, or do we try different routes? And so we're, it's going to open it up. We're going to really be able to see what's going on and see what all is out there. I'm getting my eyes open this year. So we'll see what's going on, and we'll go from there.
Insurance guy becomes concert promoter. See, there you go.
Yes, and it's been very stressful.
I bet.
The insurance part of it's stressful enough now, but to throw that on top of it. But I've got a friend in Fairfield that actually contacted me and said, "Hey, could you put on a concert over here for us?" And they've got an outdoor amphitheater at their park, and I didn't really tell him yes or no, and then my wife says, "You aren't thinking about doing that, are you?" And I said, "Well, we do have an office there. You know, it would be kind of nice to be able to go back to my hometown and offer something." And so I'm still waiting to hear back from him, because that's why I said we are going to need some sponsors for that if we can get some sponsorships.
There you go. Now you're going to be the multi-countied concert promotion. You have to give up that insurance job one of these days.
I don't know. I don't think I can do that.
There you go.
I had one of my classmates that I graduated with called me the Christy Horning of Mount Carmel. People here probably don't know Christy very well, but Christy is involved in a lot of things in Fairfield, and she's always the one that's pushing for things, and she's a business owner in town, and so he said, "Well, you're slowly becoming her," and I said, "Well, I didn't really want to get to that point, you know." But the way it's worked out, it's been fun to talk to these bands. It's been fun to meet them when they come to town. It's been nice seeing them have the attitude that, hey, we would like to come back. We'd like to come back and play, and we like the community, and you know, so that's the whole thing. We were trying to build it up for the community and help the community have some things happen. And so, you know, we may have to tweak it a little bit next year, but we'll see what happens and what changes we have to make.
Showtime is at 7 o'clock Friday night, and also food vendors will be back.
Food vendors will be back, and I need to mention too, we've got an opening act Friday night.
Okay.
Mark and Leanne Rogers from Carmel. They were here last July and opened for Cage Willis when we had Cage open up that year for our concerts. And so Mark and Leanne will be back. They're going to open at 6, and they'll play till about 7 o'clock, and then Russ Still and the Moonshiners will come on at 7. For those who don't know Mark and Leanne, they're kind of a folksy type country group. Russ Still wanted somebody to come in and open for them, and so I thought of Mark and Leanne. Two very nice people. They've been to most of our concerts. They've come up. They've kind of pushed it to people around what a nice venue we have. And so Mark and Leanne will open, and he actually runs a music school for kids, a lot of kids, younger kids and teenagers. And I think we talked about this before. The name of the kids part of that group is the Appetizers, because they play at a lot of restaurants and stuff in Carmel. Right. So Mark and Leanne and the Appetizers is usually how it comes out. But they'll be opening, and like I said, as far as the food vendors, same ones that we've been having. Beer Bones Barbecue will be there, Cobb's Culinary, Snow Shack. Snow Shack's not really a food vendor, but it'll be nice to have them up there for a humid, hot day, because people will buy the snow cones. And and then the hometown graduate with Andrew Hilliard opening, being involved with the band for at least a couple of songs, playing the saxophone. So we've got some local talent there as well.
Should be a fun night. The opening act starts at 6. The main concert with Russ Still and the Moonshiners at 7. And speaking of Russ, he has a special message just for you.
What's up, Mount Carmel? It's Russ Still of Russ Still and the Moonshiners. We're looking forward to seeing y'all on Friday, August the 20th. We'll be at Merchants Park at the Harris Insurance Pavilion. Y'all come on out. We're going to have a big old time. See you then.
So there you have it. Russ Still encouraging to come out and enjoy the festivities this Friday evening, the final in the summer concert series. Mike, we wouldn't be able to do this without the sponsors, and we want to give them some plug here too.
Sponsors have boiled down to Harris Insurance Group Limited, Sullivan Leather, and also Wabash General Hospital. And so that'll be the sponsors for this last concert. if we've got just a minute, I kind of
Sure.
want to tell you a little bit about what we've been working on for next year,
You bet.
and people can kind of let us know what they think. I'm starting to get business cards handed to me with band names on them.
There you
and
go.
People being mentioned and things, but I had someone mention to me Friday about a Beach Boys tribute band.
Okay.
And I think with the age group that we've been seeing at the park, I think that would be perfect.
Yep.
So we're kind of checking into that. It's the guy that mentioned it to me is helping me with that.
Okay.
And so he's going to make initial contact there. We have talked to Tailgate Revival out of Princeton, and they are interested in coming over and playing. We don't have any final details on that yet. Everything is very premature at this point as far as dates and stuff are concerned. Athens Creek, we would like to have come back. As I said, I've talked to them about the concert at Fairfield, and that's probably going to be May, early June is what we're shooting for over there. And then we're going to try to have them come back here in September, probably the weekend after Labor Day.
There you go.
We'll have them come back. And we've talked to, or I had a business card handed to me from for Blackstone. They're from the Princeton area. It's a classic rock group. The Beach Boys tribute show, what I think would be really neat is to have a cruise in
There you go.
and to also maybe have a car show
Cool.
and have everything all at one time. That is kind of the cruise ins
yeah.
and stuff, kind of in the 1960s.
Sure.
We can kind of pull everything together and take a look at it that way. So I'm hoping that works out. And we'll probably talk to, and I have reached out to the Smoke Rings. I've reached out to Blackstone. I've left them a message. So I'm just trying to get the word out to them that we're going to be looking for some dates next year, and we'll put pricing together and see what we come up with.
Very cool. Another year two getting ready to be formed. And by the way, head on over to the Merchants Park Facebook page. Look for posts that are asking for feedback. One of the things that I think our group has wondered is Friday nights the night? Would it be more attended on a Saturday or a Sunday or I guess a Tuesday if somebody wants to go that far? Mm-hmm. What night? What do you want to see? What types of events? What types of music? And provide that feedback, because that feedback is what's driving the search for more shows and the next thing up, so to speak.
Exactly, and I've talked to Cage. Cage Willis is going to sit down with me, and we are going to work on some things together, because Cage is playing a lot in Evansville. He knows a lot of the local bands, and he's been he loves to get involved, and he
Sure.
wants to be involved. And so Cage and I are going to be sitting down and kind of going through some ideas and see what we can put together. And then, like I said, I've got some other people that are helping. We've had gospel music, mentioned, the classic rock, the country bands have fared well here. I think once we kind of got through the initial shock of everything going on at the same time.
Right.
And it's going to take some planning to get past these county fairs and graduations and everything that has come up. And so we've got to bring better talent in than what the county fairs are having in order to get people here.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what we're working on.
There you go. So wheels are returning for the 2022. I can't believe we're that far along. 2022 edition of the Summer Concert Series. But make sure, once again, you check out the final summer concert of the year coming up this Friday night. Again, opening act at 6, main act at 7 at Merchants Park in Uptown Mount Carmel. Should be one more fun night of summer before reality kicks in and work and school and all of that really gets going.
That's right. So we're squeezing in right before football season.
There you go. Mike, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it.
That's Mike Harris, Kyle Peach here for In Focus on News Channel 15. See you at the show Friday night.
I was born up in the mountains back in the Tennessee hills. I never thought I'd ever leave the country life looking for the city life thrills. I figured out how to pick a mean guitar, wrote me a song or two. I thought I'd try if I can make a buck like some other folks do, like some other folks do. Bright lights, big city, wildest town, east of Mississippi. Juke joints running up and down Broadway. Everybody's hoping that they're gonna get a big break. Start out trying to imagine and wind up living in a great big mansion. That's why this town is so famous. Everybody calls it Las Vegas. Woo! I quit my job, packed up everything I own, jumped in my four-wheel drive. I'd never been out of Jefferson County and never even thought I would try. I drove into town looking for a place to play, got a gig for nickels and dimes. It wasn't too long, had an offer for a road job, didn't take me long to decide. Didn't take me long to decide. Bright lights, big city, wildest town, east of Mississippi. Juke joints running up and down Broadway. Everybody's hoping that they're gonna get a big break. Start out trying to imagine and wind up living in a great big mansion. That's why this town is so famous. Everybody calls it Las Vegas. Hear the songs they're playing on the radio. This is where they wrote that country gold. A big-time star with a rhinestone suit on hired me to open his act. Got me some cash and a sweetheart record deal. Since then I never looked back. Since then I never looked back. Bright lights, big city, wildest town, east of Mississippi. Juke joints running up and down Broadway. Everybody's hoping that they're gonna get a big break. Start out trying to imagine and wind up living in a great big mansion. That's why this town is so famous. Everybody calls it Las Vegas. Bright lights, big city, wildest town, east of Mississippi. Juke joints running up and down Broadway. Everybody's hoping that they're gonna get a big break. Start out trying to imagine and wind up living in a great big mansion. That's why this town is so famous. Everybody calls it Las Vegas. I was born up in the mountains back in the Tennessee